Hi everyone, it is Marie here from Skeins on a bright and wonderful Thursday, coming to say hello to you and fill you in on loads of news that I've been saving up over the last week, and I have alluded to it on a couple of posts if you've been eagle-eyed in our social media. But before I jump on and talk about that, I am going to talk about a few other bits and pieces that we've got going on in the shop at the moment, and to let you know what we've got coming up, particularly because Knit August Nights is next week. I know I'm up to here with in the thick of it with organisational bits and pieces, but I'm nearly there, so that's really exciting. So I'm very happy about that. The first thing I wanted to do, and I'm going to move this to show you, is I finally finished my Awhi cardigan. I was actually going to put it on and wear it, but you can't really see, and then I went to go and have photos taken, and we took some photos, and here's the thing, you know, I didn't really wear the right outfit for it today. So I looked at it and thought, no. So I need to actually get the right outfit. But in the meantime, I'm actually sticking it in the shop for all of you coming to Cannes and who are going to be coming through over the next couple of weeks, so you can actually touch it and feel it and see the fabric. Because I think that's the most important thing with Awhi. It's one of those really difficult yarns to sort of appreciate what the fabric's going to be like from the ball to finished fabric. So just to give you an idea, I've just got a ball, not the right colour, but so as you can see on here, it sort of looks quite bubbly on the ball, and you think, yeah, I'm not really a textured yarn person, not particularly fond. Now, I may have mentioned this before. We designed this in such a way that the wrap is actually quite fine on this Awhi yarn. It is an alpaca, and alpaca is wonderful, but you know, the trick with alpaca is that you need to make sure it doesn't escape on you, and also too with alpaca is it doesn't have the same sort of fiber memory that wool has, so it can sometimes be a little bit sort of loosey-goosey and a wee bit relaxed. So we've got a wee binder on here that helps give it a little bit more structure. So on the ball, it's sort of, you know, I mean, it looks interesting, but you don't necessarily go, oh, I want to knit that. So I'm going to spin this around, so hopefully you can see it. So there you go. So this is the project that I have finished here, and I'm just going to tilt the camera up a little bit. There we go. So there you can see it's a big wide neckline. Now what I've gone and knitted is the Elemental Raglan by Yumiko Alexander. Now, if you've bought this pattern, and I know a few of you have actually already been downstairs and bought it, and you've seen it when I've talked about it, and you look at it and you think, that really doesn't look anything like what Marie's made. And you would be right, because this is me, and you know what I'm like with modifications. So I'm going to run you through some of those modifications first. So you go, what was that girl drinking when she was knitting that pattern? Right. Okay. So essentially the architecture of Yumiko's pattern is untouched. So I've used her sizing, I've used her gauging, I've used everything. So I've not changed any of that. She has, however, written the pattern in a garter stitch fabric, and when I started swatching for this, and yes, I do swatch for these things, people, I don't just, you know, decide to go, this is a brand new yarn. I needed to. I didn't know how it was going to perform. So when I swatched for it, and I can hold this up and I can show you, there's the garter stitch, that's a garter stitch portion there, and I looked at that as a fabric, and whilst I liked it, I didn't like it in the context of the pattern, and the yarn she'd used in the pattern was a very, very fine mohair, I think, and so it was more sheer, and whereas this sort of gave this kind of bubbly texture here, and I thought, well, it's not really what I was after. So I have done mine in stocking stitch. So the positive about that is it gives you this beautiful fabric, and I think the fabric on that, hope she doesn't go weird. There is actually a pole up above holding her up, but you know, I did ram something up there to keep her in one place, but you know, there we go. Move. There we go. Right. So the fabric there, the fabric there is actually, as you can see, quite a light, lovely drapey fabric. The cover factor is good, even though that this yarn, from a spinning perspective, is spun to a DK. I've knitted it as a 10-ply, but the cover factor is fine. So I have no issues with the cover factor. She's going to go for a skate in a second, so I'm not germs. Oh, there we go. That'll work. There we go. Let's put that under there. Stop her from moving forward. Right. So I've gone and I'm really happy with the cover factor. So that's not been no issue with that at all. And of course with that alpaca, you just get this lovely drapey, beautiful fabric. So that's modification number 1. So I didn't do garter stitch, I did stocking stitch. The positive of that, the positive of that is that you don't use as much yarn, because garter stitch is more yarn hungry. So that's a good thing. So I worked as written, so I didn't change anything else. That's all I changed. Worked as written, did the division for the arms, worked until we got down to the hemline. So the one thing, this is the other big modification that I've made, and I'm going to spin it around now, and this is probably going to fall over again. Ooh, if I can spin this around, here we go. So this is the other big modification that I've made, and I'm just going to tip that down now a little bit, is, as I hoik it up, if you can see there, see there's a tapered, it's tapered at the bottom. Now she had a split hemline, asymmetrical hemline, so shorter at the front, longer at the back, with a garter borders, which looks great. Don't get me wrong, could have happily done that. Me personally, I wanted it a wee bit longer. I wanted to have the shaping of longer at the back, but not interrupted at the sides. I actually wanted to have it all in one piece. So what I did was I did some short rows at the back. So I essentially went, so when you would, in the instruction, you would go to sort of divide things up, I actually worked out at that point the back, and then worked all the way around until 4 stitches from the end, and then I worked on 4 stitch wrap and turn, so in multiples of 4 stitches backwards and forwards, back like an ever decreasing pendulum essentially, until I got to 8 stitches at the very end, and then went all the way back to the end, and then back round, and then garter stitched round for the hemline. So that's what I did. So that was the other major modification. And yes, Jeanette, I will put the link in for the pattern. Don't panic about that. And I'll kind of give you rough notes of my modifications. I'm not going to write down the instructions for my modifications because of A, I didn't write them down myself. B, you know me, I'm always drinking when I do this, so I couldn't, you know, so you might have to just, you know, wing it a wee bit. But I will definitely put the pattern that I used as a base on this. So anyway, I did the short rows at the back, so I've got this asymmetrical back. So that's the other modification too. Lastly, we got to, and then I picked up sleeves as normal. Now, what I did with the sleeves, I think she had some sleeve shaping. I can't remember, because by that stage, by the stage I got to the sleeves, I'd sort of kind of thrown the pattern away and started doing my own thing, as I meant to do. La, da, 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 da. Oh no, look, I actually pretty much did it as she wrote it. Gosh, that's a miracle for me. She just used a straight tubular sleeve, so she didn't do anything, she didn't do a tapered sleeve at all. She just did a straight tubular sleeve, and I did exactly the same. The one thing that I didn't do that she's done, she put a short, in hers, a short garter stitch cuff on hers on a smaller needle to sort of pull that sleeve in. I didn't want to do that. I wanted more of a fluted finish on mine, and just sort of quite sort of deconstructed. So I literally have just gone all the way through to stocking stitch, down to did the bind off, and I'm letting that sort of kind of naturally roll. And it also means that if I want to roll it up or play around and ruche up the sleeves like that or anything like that later on, I have the ability to do that if I want to do that. So that was the other change that I made on that, but a very, very minor modification. What that tells you, though, and that's the thing with these modifications, is that this is the beautiful thing about a pattern that's really well written. And I mean, the pattern she's written here is actually really, really straightforward. She's called it the elemental raglan. And I think it's a really accurate description for what she's done, because it is just a very simply shaped shell of a sweater. And it just means that whatever you choose to do is it just gives you a foundation. And that's all I wanted with this Awhi, because for me, I didn't want anything to take away from what was a beautiful yarn. And I wanted this beautiful soft texturing here of the yarn to tell a story. I didn't want this beautiful fabric to be complicated by ribs or textured stitches or cables or anything like that. I just really wanted it, and I wanted something that was nice and loose and drapey and just essentially very easy to wear. So it's done. Finished it late last night. Woohoo! Well, my husband and my son watched Terminator 2. You know, that's how we roll in our house on a Wednesday night, I tell you. No, I'm pleased. Really happy with that. So, again, I'll pop those links up, and this is going in the shop, so you can have a look at it in the shop. The other good news about Awhi, now before you go running out, I'm going to let you in on a secret. Before you go running out and you're going, oh, Marie, you've now solved my problem. I now know what I'm going to make with Awhi. I'll spin this background. There we go. So I can sort of talk to you as opposed to talking off to the side. Which segues nicely into my next little topic of conversation. August nights next weekend, as you may have known. If you didn't know, you've been living under a rock, because I've been talking about it for months. We are having our annual can sale, as we always do, and I have been filtering out some really nice specials for you all month. So it's been can month around here. And on that score, there is still some of those full-ply baby merinos at $2.95. There will be more coming. When they'll be exactly coming, I'm not 100% certain. They'll possibly be for what I'm going to talk about at the end of the video. But there are still some left there. There's still some of the blue jeans left, which is that beautiful, not soft powdery blue in a DK machine washable. However, now, Awhi, back to Awhi. I have, if you go up view by range name on the website, right there at the beginning, you'll see can sale. If you click on that, that is going to show you all the yarns that I've been busy moving over into that category that are going to be in the sale. Awhi is one of them. So not a massive earth-shattering discount on Awhi, but enough that if you're doing a garment lot, it will save you a bit of money. So definitely hold off if you're going to be doing any garment lot purchasing of any yarns that are in that category. Definitely wait until the sale next Wednesday. That starts next Wednesday. So, you know, tai ho. So we've got going in there, we've got Awhi, we've got Mahana, we have Lodge, Albertine, Southlander. Yeah, haven't given this either. Loads of you loved the Southlander sale that we had in February. Well, we're doing that again for can. I'm just actually moving. There's only 3 yarns sitting there at the minute because I've got to move them all over. As I said, sale prices won't start until Wednesday, so it's all just sitting there at normal prices at the moment. What else is in there? There is, the alpaca sock. Beautiful, beautiful, soft shade. Sort of shell shades, beautiful alpaca sock is in there. And I have just spent today loading up these little beauties, and I'm just going to give you a little whifter of them because they're not showing at this stage, because they'll go live on Wednesday. And I'll put all these ones out for this. So we've got some beautiful natural. Look at those. Aren't those gorgeous? So these are beautiful, natural 50-50 extra fine alpaca and merino worsted singles. So totally beautiful, undyed. As you can see, there's 2 miles and 4 solid natural shades. So if you're looking, I mean, these to me have poncho, wrap, blanket throw, that kind of thing written all over them. and they are unctuously soft, absolutely beautiful. So those are going to be, they're loaded up, and the price on those is seriously sharp. The other ones that I have are these singles, gorgeous little skinny singles, 100 gram Skeins. There they are, look at those, 100 gram Skeins, prints, 100%, no, sorry, tell a lie, 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. So they are stock singles, but honestly, those for shawls, I mean, there's loads of gorgeous patterns out there with using skinny singles, 400 meters to 100 gram Skeins. So those are those will be going up as well, going live next Wednesday. So do make sure you look out for those. If you happen to be over this way or coming to Knit August Nights, if you're at Knit August Nights, we'll be running shuttles on Friday and Saturday across to Skeins. If you're here locally or you're around and you're not going to Knit August Nights but you don't want to miss out on all the fun, this is a really neat thing. We've got things happening that you don't need to be registered for. Skeins is going to be open with, the girls are actually busy setting up the shop now actually for the sale next week. So we'll be doing Outlaw. Outlaw will be going into the sale too, so that hasn't been moved into the category yet. So all the Outlaw that we have that isn't already reduced will be just for those days will be on sale. Deb from Outlaw will be here on next Saturday, so not this Saturday but next Saturday. She'll be in store from 11 to 1, so you can come down and meet Deb, talk yarn, have a look at some of her samples and discuss, just talk about Outlaw. And it's also her 5th birthday, so 5 years next weekend since Outlaw's been around, which is a huge milestone for Deb, so come down and help celebrate with her next Saturday. Also too, next Saturday we are open longer hours, so we will be open until 3 o'clock. So if you are out and about and you've got Saturday sports and stuff, and I know getting across here is a real rush because of sports and activities, next Saturday we will be open those extra couple of hours, which will make the world of difference to you to get across and come and visit us. So that's happening here. Then on Sunday, up at East Pier in Ahuriri from 9 till noon, there is the yarn market. So all my lot are all having the day off and they're heading over there to do a bit of shopping themselves. And I've got 25 traders from a variety of yarn crafters, fibre craft. There'll be fibre there if you're a hand spinner. There's loads and loads of artisan yarns. There's some awesome retailers that have enough knit swag and crochet swag and really cool funky stuff to think, to make you really excited. Libby Johnson will be there with all her patterns, which you can actually purchase, and she has all her samples she brings with her in a huge big roadshow, and I get a big Chevelle mirror down there so you can try on samples and in real life and see how they fit and how they look. And Libby's awesome. She will discuss the yarns with discuss the patterns with you, let you know yarn recommendations so you can actually purchase while you're there. Solange Thompson, if you may know Solange from our groups, she'll be there. She's attending, and she'll be also selling on Sunday. We've got there's so much crafties. The Stevens mother and daughter, who have been with me right from the beginning, they have got all the wonderful knitted novelties there, which is so much fun. So there is heaps to come and have a look at. Best part is entry is free, but I do ask that if you really want to support something and have a bit of a koha, Yarn Hawke's Bay will be there. They're giving me a hand as part of my Angel Volunteer Squad, and they will be right when you walk in the front door at East Pier at the bar there, and they have their wall of yarn, this huge big sort of selfie wall. You can take a picture, post it up, but most importantly buy a raffle ticket from Sandra and her team, and you will be supporting the Yarny Army to actually go out and keep all those kids and bubs warm around in Hawke's Bay. So all that money stays right here in the bay. So if you do come along on Sunday, do please buy a raffle ticket off the team there. Trust me, every single dollar goes to where it needs to go. So that's why we support them so much, because they do such great work. All right, what else have I got? Right, the other thing I wanted to let you know about was the fancy yarns. You may have noticed that the fancy yarns, those prices have dropped as well, because we are just sort of getting to the last of those. You actually really love them way more than I anticipated, which was cool. I sort of thought, Claire thought I was mad getting them in. That's all right. Claire always thinks I'm mad, so it's fine. So I have her. She grounds me. I need people to ground me. But I don't know whether you remember, I did this with Lorraine a few weeks ago, our lovely Lorraine, who is like our craft maestro. So she is totally ambicraftress, is our Lorraine, and she can do anything. But see, this little garland here, which, in case you're wondering, is going to end up on my Christmas tree, or it could end up on the Skeins Christmas tree yet. But this makes a fantastic Christmas garland, and I've done this one just in greens and blues. Now this uses the Adore ribbon and the Imagine fancy yarn, and then the rumba. So that is one hank of rumba, just a part of a ball of Imagine and a part of a ball of the ribbon, the Adore ribbon. We worked out around 3 garlands out of a ball of Adore and a ball of Imagine. They're both $1 each. The rumba is $2.50. So to be honest with you, this is worth about, in terms of yarn cost, about $3 to make a garland. Well, I'm sorry, you cannot get Christmas decorations that look this good, that cheap for a crafty person. So I know I've mentioned the Christmas word, and I know it's only August, but think ahead, people. And there's still some really amazing colours there. So depending on the colour of your tree, this literally, all I've done with this is crocheted a chain using a 20mm hook, but you wouldn't even need a hook. You could just literally finger knit out a single chain to make this garland. So easy. That, I'm sorry, is a brilliant project for the kids. If you're looking for something for them to do to get them involved with some decorating, I think that would be fantastic. So that yarn is on sale now. So even if you just grab some, it is that cheap. Grab some now for projects later on, because once all that's gone, it is gone. We can't get it. We've got everything from the distributor. So for crafting, I would get hold of that now. So the Imagine and the Adore ribbons, as I said, are $1 each, or 99 cents actually. Tell a lie. I think it's a 99. Well, splitting hairs really, but 99 cents, and $2.50 for the rumba. So do go and check those out. Right, what else have I got here? I've got a list. My list. Okay, this is the next thing I'm going to talk about. That is a big cone of yarn. This is a 1 kilo cone of Naked Skeins sock. Brand new. Now, I do have a bit of an announcement to make about Naked Skeins, and I know that there'll be some that are really heartbroken about this, and I preface it with an apology now. We had some machinery go down our small hank reeler. We've had to make some modifications, and we spent a lot of money in getting this machine back sorted. But small hank reeling is an incredibly expensive and time-consuming thing to do. So that is where we make these, basically. So for us, we're set up to create balls of yarn. So when we create a ball of yarn from a fine weight like this, it goes onto a cone. This cone goes out to our balling machine, and it does its whiz, 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 and you come out with a ball. We've gotten to the point now that with Naked Skeins that for cost, we had to sit down and we looked at a cost. There was going to have to be a cost increase on our small hanked yarns. And it was so significant that it was more than double what the bulk cost was going to be. And we just couldn't, and we just couldn't justify it, really. Couldn't justify it for you guys. And also to getting it out. I know many get them out from the UK, and we looked at it and we thought, no, this is crazy. We just can't do it. And our sales are predominantly in bulk yarn, not in single hanked format, and largely due to the cost. However, the biggest problem, of course, with our bulk yarns, of course, they're in these huge big skeins, and not everybody has the big swifts that can handle a 1 kilo skein of yarn. So what we're in the process of doing, we're selling through all the stock that we have at the moment. Once that stock is gone, all the new stock that comes through will be coming through on these cones. So it doesn't matter what the naked yarn is, whether it's 4-ply sock, twist on twist, naked DK, you name it, it will be all now coming through on 1 kilo cone. I know a number of you have been using the Naked Skeins 200s and actually reeling them back down to 100s. You've been halving those skeins out, and it's loads of extra work for you. This is the beautiful thing with these cones. It's all one long continuous piece. It's all in one cone. It all comes off the top. You don't have to have a Swift of any kind. You just have to have whatever you use for your hanking. And there are some really wonderful machines like the umbrella hanking machines that you can roll off, and you can get really cost-effective yarn measurers now, which is, I know, is what many of you are now doing. So you're actually measuring off your meterages of yarns using those pieces of equipment, and you're actually hanking your own yarn, and it just saves you loads by doing it from a cone. And I know many of you have been asking for it on cones. So that is what's going to be happening. So if you are using small hanked product, and if we have small hank products still there, you might want to jump on and grab and get it, because that will be the last of it, because everything is moving into this format. So I apologize in advance to anybody that is just absolutely devastated by us not continuing it, but trust me, I think you would have even been more devastated if you'd seen the new price increase that would have come through. And we just really thought, no, we can go to all of that work, put that price increase, and it just won't sell. And so no one wins then. So the first two of these are now loaded. So I've just gone and put up the, this is the twist on twist, this one, the merino twist on twist, which is the same as our Aug15. And I've also got the merino nylon sock that's just gone up as well. If you're a machine knitter, and I know that there are a few machine knitters out there, I know you'll be very happy about seeing this on cone. Before you ask, is there going to be anything else coloured on cone? The answer to that is no. However, it does mean that if you can get that stuff on cone, you can at least now machine knit off a cream base and then dye finished garments, which I know many of you do. So that's what's happening with Naked, and that rollout will be as stock rolls through. We have got quite significant stocks of a lot of things, so it may take several months before you see cones moving through on some of those other lines. So yeah, as I said, if there are small hanks there and you are a fond small hank user, I would definitely jump in now and pick those up. Right, last but not least, save the most exciting news for last. I alluded before to some news. Yes, we do have news, and it's very exciting news. Skeins is on the move. Yep, we are relocating. Now, not the mill. The mill is staying right here. We are moving the Skeins shop and the Skeins online warehouse around the corner. So we're not going terribly far. We're literally going two streets down and 1 street over. So it's not a massively dramatic leap from a geographical perspective, but it is a huge leap for us because it's in a much, much better location. It's on Taradale Road, which is a main thoroughfare here in Napier. So if you're ever coming to visit us here in Napier, Taradale Road is actually one of the roads that you get off the expressway. So State Highway 2 that runs all the way through Napier, you literally Taradale Road's one of the exits off the expressway, so that's really easy to find if you're visiting. But the best part is it is a whopping great big huge beautiful empty warehouse, which makes my heart sing. It is, yeah, it's really exciting. It's freaking huge. And it's big because we are going to be putting our warehousing and all our distribution out of there, and essentially, we have driven the poor mill team absolutely bonkers because we have been parasiting and termiting our way into their space for years now. And yeah, we really do need to move out. We've grown up. Skeins is all grown up now, and she needs to move out to a place of her own. So we're heading over to the corner of Taradale Road and Carnegie Road. And there is the other beautiful thing is there's 2 warehouses there, ourselves and micro bathrooms. And the best part is as you pull off, and then we've got 22 glorious car parks that we share between the 2 businesses. And it just, if you've ever come and visited us here at our shop here, you will know that parking is quite the premium around here, because of all the other industrial and tradie businesses that we're surrounded by, so who just parked up all day. So for us, the parking is just like Christmas. We're that excited. So hence the reason for some of the sales stock coming through and things happening a little bit sooner than you would normally expect, and that is because we're essentially quitting as much non-repeat stock as we can now, so we don't have to move it across to the new warehouse. So hence the sales that we're seeing now. We've got the can stuff. There'll also probably, once we get through mid-August nights, we'll get a lay of the land, see what's left, and there'll probably be a relocation event as well. So hold on to your credit cards, girls. Strap her on. She's going to be really, really full on the next month or 2. Fingers crossed we'll be across to there by the end of next month, we're hoping. Construction started this week. I went in a couple of days ago and snapped a few pictures, so we're definitely, things are starting to happen across there. So by the end of next month, we'll be all moved into the new location. So that is super, 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 super exciting. I mean, honestly, so much space. We'll have a space there for teachers, for classes. We'll have extra room for you. We'll be able to fit in more yarn. Oh, can't wait. Really, really, really excited. And we're also going to do some rebranding as well. So there'll be some new logos and bits and bobs as well. So that's all really exciting too. So there's so much happening. So we're really, really excited about that. So that's our news. Right. Whew, look at that. 31 minutes. Lots of news, lots to talk about. I probably won't talk to you again until after Can. I doubt that I'll get to you next week. I may just pop in from Can and do a quick little live vid if I get a chance. So if you do see me either doing that during Can or possibly even downstairs next Saturday, I'll pop in and say hi if I get 5 minutes. But failing that, have a great weekend. If you're coming to Can and you haven't finished your Can knitting yet, come on, chop chop. I got mine done last night. Well, she says that, and I'm not actually going to, I've decided not to wear this at Can now. I've decided to leave it in the shop so everyone can have a look. But I've actually stolen the pop crop from the shop, which I haven't been able to wear because it's been in the shop since I finished it. So I'm going to have this for Can. So I'm all sorted. So get your Can knitting sorted. I will see you all next week. And until then, have a great weekend, and I will talk to you again hopefully soon. See you later. Bye.